So, hey guys, my name is Emily. If you guys know me pretty well already, but um, I'm gonna be kind of leading this meeting since I've been working on the speech and debate workshops since the very beginning. Um, and we're just gonna be talking about, what we've done in the past, which is not exactly what we're going to necessarily be doing in the future, but for you guys, for the sake of you guys, understanding what exactly it is that we do and what kind of topics that we cover. And then we can also have a little bit of a discussion of what we actually do want to do moving into the future. So, first off, I just want to reaffirm something that I feel like has, to a certain extent, been getting a little lost in the last several months of Teacher Learn, which is that we really want to focus on inspiration instead of just instruction. And that is a really easy thing to say, but when it comes to actually doing it, I mean, I think all of us can agree that it's just a lot easier to tell someone about something, like tell the students how this is how you do this is how you do that, this is what this is, than actually trying to actively inspire them um, in speech and debate. And in the case of speech and debate, the way I view it is that you're not necessarily going to be able to inspire every single student to find a love for speech and debate and they're like, oh my god, I want to do this forever. um, if that is the case, obviously we do want to help them find that passion. But for a subject like speech and debate, it's more about working in other applicable areas of interest, right? Because speech and debate are two very broadly applicable skills. Like, I've transferred my speech skills almost perfectly over to DECA. Um, it's applicable in science fair, it's applicable in things like job interviews and stuff like that, which pretty much applies to everyone. So we like to bring in mentors from all sorts of activities that require strong oral presentation skills and not necessarily just competitive speech and debate. So if you don't have competitive speech and debate experience, that's not going to bar you from being able to contribute to this workshop. All right, so I just want to go over kind of the history of the speech teach to learn speech and debate workshops. So in summer of 2020, we pretty much exclusively did a speech workshop. And we focused a lot on impromptu speaking because since it was the summer, we didn't want to make anyone prepare anything in advance for too long. And impromptu speaking, I think, it's something that I have experience in, and it's something that I believe has been really instrumental in developing just solid speech fundamentals that you can apply to any other kind of speech or debate. So we taught parts of a speech and just the basic skeleton that they needed to get started. And then we would do um, speech prompts in small groups and have people give their impromptu speeches. And then we've um, prioritized very highly personal feedback. So a student would give a speech and then the mentors would generally provide very personalized feedback, things that they did well, things that they could stand to work on. Um, and that was really, I think, that's where I think the speech workshop shined, was being able to provide that personalized feedback so that people could constantly improve. And I think we did see for a lot of the students measured improvement by the end of the workshop. We also have this concept of a toolbox, which isn't really an official term, but it's the term that I kind of call it, where we teach them some devices that are common in speeches that can be reused multiple times. So, like, for example, working in anecdotes or working in certain types of hooks, things that you can take any prompt and you can really apply that to just make a speech more engaging. And that's why it's like a toolbox, right? You can just look inside your toolbox and you say, oh, these are the tools that are disposable to me, and I want to use this one and this one to primarily construct my speech. And then we also talked about stuff with delivery and mechanics, the usual suspects, vocal tone, volume control, speed. Um, but again, those are all things that, since a lot of people have different strengths and weaknesses when it comes to delivery, we mostly worked on that through personal feedback. And then we also incorporated some current affairs, even though the prompt, it was still impromptu by nature, but we kind of incorporated a little inspiration from the modern oratory format, if any of you are familiar with it, where we incorporated more current affairs. And I think that also just makes the topics more relevant to whatever people might be interested in right now. And then for the fall, we kind of had a bit of a hybrid speech and debate thing going on, where we had the basic level and the advanced level. And the basic level was basically a repetition of the summer workshops for new students, and then the advanced one was a continuation of that. We tried to improve our basic methods, again, returning to that inspiration vision, not trying to get bogged down by too many mechanics and too many devices and too many specific things, and using more diagrams and overarching concepts when it came to speech. But overall, it was a lot of the same stuff that we did before when it came to the basic topics. And then we did a little bit of intro to debate. We didn't have a particular format, but we did focus on applying those speech skills that the students had gained in order to make their points. And then for spring, we did debate, and we taught them basic structure and vocabulary, and we focused on the Lincoln Douglas format, since I think that is tends to be more accessible for new debaters. And we had the principle of like bite-sized goals, where it was a shorter workshop series, and instead of and we gave them a very specific goal of trying to conduct one Lincoln Douglas debate and being able to get through that and complete all of the parts of it, since debate does tend to be, like I said, a little less accessible for new students than speech. But that's pretty much like, speech is a workshop that's been running for speech and debate has been running for a very long time. We've done so many different things. So I just really wanted to like go over every single thing that we've done to give you guys an idea of, we haven't just been doing one thing. We have done a lot of different things, and we might not do all of them again, but we could do all of them again if we think they worked out well, or if we do want to bring them back. And that's pretty much the whole spiel for that. And now I kind of want to open it a little bit more to discussion. So I would like to ask you guys about your experiences with speech and debate. And then I do want to start a little bit of a brainstorming where we can talk about what exactly we think might be good to incorporate moving forward when we do speech and debate in the fall. So, I mean, for experiences, I guess I can go first, but I did impromptu speaking for a couple years before high school. And then when I came into high school, I didn't do it. Or I also did LD debate on top of impromptu. And then when I came into high school, I didn't do it as much, but I continued utilizing those speech skills in activities like DECA and science fair. I know Avery and Isabel have worked on this workshop before, so I do want to put a little bit of a spotlight on our new mentors, Arushi and Nikita. So if one of you guys could unmute and just tell us about any speech and debate experience you might have.
Okay, I can go first. So I've done speech IL at McCullough, and I did really well in that, and I got to 4th place in the district. I've emceed events, and then I've done a few community competitions and done pretty well in that too. And I've also done really good in science fair, and I know that's really applicable. And I really want to do stuff like DECA in high school, so that would be something that I could benefit from learning more from teaching too.
Cool. Arushi?
So for me, I participated in a speech competition that I got second in. So that's one thing, but I feel like, well, speech competitions are one thing, but there's a million other things where speech applies, right? Like in science fair, I got pretty far in science fair both years. I made it to state and Broadcom both years. This year I had the opportunity to participate in state because last year got canceled and all that. But yeah, so I have speech experience in science fair, and well, a speech competition, of course.
All right, cool. Isabel, Avery, you guys can share experiences if you want, but I know since you've already worked with a team, it's I personally, I'm already kind of familiar with what you guys have done.
I can just list it. I mean, I did debate for like 2 years, and then I did like some speech trial. I did DECA, and then the last 2 like workshop things I participated. I was like a mentor.
Yeah, my general experience, just quickly listing it off, 3 years of impromptu and also planned speaking, and there's also some international and club competitions. That speech is more of my focus that I'm better at than debate, and I've been working on it for a while now. It's nice meeting y'all, by the way. It'll be fun working with you guys.
All right, cool. And then for brainstorming, how much time do I have? Because I just realized I cannot view the clock while screen sharing.
You have
You
4
have
minutes.
like 3 minutes. 4.
Okay, so
3.
we don't have a lot of time to brainstorm. That's a little bit my bad. But to kind of give you guys an idea of at least what I'm thinking moving into the future, and again, if you have anything else to say, you can kind of just interject. But when we adapt our curriculum to an in-person model, we're obviously going to want to incorporate more and more hands-on activities, and we're going to have a longer period of time to be able to help the students gradually improve. And we're also going to have a longer time to actually like teach them debate like concepts without them feeling like we've dumped it all on them at once. And you guys will be able to help with this since you guys all competed. Not all of you guys, but a lot of you guys competed. But we'll also probably be trying to like the fit like when we like the timings of certain topics to their competition seasons as well. So we'll probably only be going to schools that are pretty high participation in like speech and debate, which would be McCullough and Knox. Speech and debate probably won't be happening at any other schools, even if we do have some workshops at other schools. Is there any ideas that people want to like throw in or like questions you want to ask?
We're doing impromptu, right? Is that what we're going to do for the speech thing?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to continue doing impromptu, but I also do think for there will be more opportunities that we can talk about for doing prepared speeches, but I think that'll be like more of an optional thing where if people are doing like competitions that they have to prepare a speech for and that's not impromptu, we can definitely like help specific students with that. I don't know if it's a good idea to force students that aren't competing in prepared speech to like prepare a speech specifically for the workshop itself. I suppose we could if it was as long as it didn't require too much preparation in advance. Like definitely not any. I don't think any like lengthy scripting or anything like that. But yeah. Again, like I said, speech and debate is something that we've done so many different things at this point. And some things I think are definitely worth carrying over, and then some things I think not as much. So it's kind of we kind of get to pick and choose, like as well as adding new ideas, like kind of blending together all of our experiences to make the new workshop. I didn't realize before like how little I can see when I'm screen sharing. I'm actually gonna stop screen sharing. But yeah, if no one else has anything else they want to add, this interest meeting was just to kind of meet you guys and give you guys an idea of what we're thinking moving forward. And see if you guys really are interested in this. It seems like all of you guys would be great fits for this workshop. So we can definitely talk it out more once the teams have been created. With that, we're coming up on time. So thank you guys so much for coming. If you're sticking around for the next one, Math UIL is about to start, and then we have CS at 4:40. Yeah.